Hi everybody. Welcome to Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies Sunday Coffee Hour. You caught me adjusting my chair, and such is life on live streams. There we go. Sorry. So the first thing I have to do is apologize to everybody. We expected to play spooky trivia with Matt Warner and Richie B, and shit happens, life happens. Richie B had something in his personal life happen, so he was not able to participate, and I wasn't able to get a worthy opponent for Matt Warner today. So I have decided to postpone that because everybody, and I mean everybody, wants to see that matchup. We all want to see Richie B and Matt Warner face off on Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies Spooky Trivia. And also, I have a great prize. I don't even want to tell you what it is. It'll be a surprise, but I have a prize for the winner of that match. Um, so I am sorry, but hey, shit happens. Like I said, that's kind of the perils of live streaming. Something happens in your personal life and you can't be a guest on a show, and that show has to roll with the punches. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm rolling with the punches. So I also last minute tried to see if I could get some people to fill in a pinch, and it was just such short notice on a Sunday morning. So again, I have plan B. So I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite things, namely paranormal investigating, and paranormal investigating. These are a few of my favorite things. But before I do, I want to let you all know that I am, as as Carrie would say, I'm commando today. I don't have any notes. I don't even have a pen. I need to get a pen. So I need to get a magic wand, something to hold in my hand while I'm talking. And I thought that maybe today I would go a little bit old school. Hey, Sam. Oh, Sam, I was going to try to have you on as a guest on Spooky Trivia to fill in for Richie B, but we didn't connect in time. You are definitely on my list of people that I want to have A, on my show as a guest, because I can't wait to get to know you better, but also B, as a guest on Spooky Trivia, because I know you're going to love it and you're going to do great. And hello, Dan. And Dan, that's funny that you should bring the weather up. Yes, Dan, it's a lovely day out there. But this morning when I walked the dog, it was a little bit chilly, Dan. And what did I do? I pulled out my pink sweatshirt, courtesy of Dan. It was a very, very thoughtful birthday gift from Dan, this hot pink sweatshirt, and I wore it walking the dog this morning at about 7 o'clock because it was cool and crisp. So thanks a lot, Dan. That was a really thoughtful gift. I really appreciate it. And Sue is in the house. Good morning, Sue. Sue was going to help out scorekeeping, and Nathan was going to help Sue. Let's see. Sue was gonna score keep, and Nathan was gonna keep Sue honest. That's what was gonna happen. So, anyways, in the future, we'll have you guys score keep another game. And Sam, absolutely, it is gonna be fun. If you haven't watched my paranormal trivia, go back and watch a couple episodes. And you know what I like to say about my spooky trivia or paranormal trivia is that everybody can answer some of the questions. I'm the only one that can answer them all because I make them. But anyways, and also Kara, hello Kara. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you very, very much. Kara used to do my nails, and she's no longer there. So it's very nice to see Kara and Rebecca Joy. RJ is in the house. Um, I'll be seeing Rebecca in a few weeks. We were just chatting offline, Rebecca and myself, and we're really looking forward to seeing each other in Easton in a couple of weeks. And then I've got one of my all-time favorite Bristol peeps in the house, Kathy Marandino. What I'm loving about today's show, and again, I'm so sorry that Richie B and Matt Warner couldn't be here today. We're going to reschedule that. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to kind of reconnect with my audience because Kerry, who is so awesome, Kerry is my right-hand man. Kerry connects with the audience for me when I live stream. Um, you got it, Kathy. but Carrie's busy and things happened. So today I'm going to be talking with my audience, and I really like that. So I guess I'm kind of going old school. The other thing I have to say is I don't have any graphics or anything prepared for this, but dun dun dun. Last weekend, I officially hit 1 year of live streaming. And there's Kerry. Kerry, I was just singing your praises. My right-hand man, previously possessed, is Kerry, my good friend. But yeah, I hit 1 year live streaming last weekend, and I think in the last 52 weeks, I may have missed 1 or 2 weekends, possibly 2. And one of those weekends, I was with my friend Joan in Connecticut, and I scheduled a live stream. So it still went live, even though I wasn't there to announce it. So I had kind of pre-recorded a live stream. So anyways, that being said, nice segue. So Richie B and Matt couldn't be here to play Spooky Trivia today, but I still decided to go live because algorithms, because you have to keep going live if you want to keep going live. And if you want to be seen, you've got to be seen. So every time you guys comment, like, share, that really helps my algorithm. I have 1,100 followers and about a handful of about 10 people who actually do follow me. You know who you are, and I love you all, and I know you all, and I really appreciate that. But again, the algorithm thing, I'm really trying to be consistent. And also trying to build an algorithm because we definitely want people to watch. Let me see, what other tickers do I have here? Show The Walk with Christy Parrish. It premieres Sunday, August 23rd, 7 p.m. on YouTube. And I will tell you this. Christy and I, we sat side by side yesterday on her couch. I got to her house at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, and I left at 9 p.m. And we worked straight through on finishing editing this program that we have for you. And I'm excited to say that Christy and I are both beyond excited about what we have to share with you. I think at the end of 9.5, 10 really grueling hours, we were really happy with our finished product. And I think that we've got something that we're really thrilled to share with you. I think we have a unique idea. And I think that we came up with some really cool stuff, and you don't want to miss it. Next Sunday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. on YouTube, and I'll be sharing that on my Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. I'll be hyping that this week. Next week, all of us that are kind of behind the scenes on the walk, we're going to be having a watch party, and so we're rolling it out to some of our friends for the very first time. So we'll be watching it together next Saturday, and then Sunday it rolls out in public. And again, to tell you that I'm excited about this is a really big deal, because anybody who edits film, anybody who does anything creative knows you are your own worst critic, hands down. And I'm a very harsh critic of my own work. And if you don't know this about myself, I'm going to go afterwards and watch this live stream and count how many times I say and all that kind of stuff. But being a harsh critic of my own work that I output, I'm very happy with our final product. So I think that says a lot. And again, if anybody gets involved in the creative process, if you're happy with your final product, that says a lot. So, and the other thing is, you have to know when to stand back, hands off. You have to know when to stop tweaking things and when enough is enough, because you don't want to overdo anything. So anyways, make sure that you watch The Walk with Christy Parrish next Sunday at 7 p.m. on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. And when you're watching, we can't wait to hear your comments. We want to know what you think. What did you see? Did we miss something? Did you agree with what we saw? Get your Google finger out and do a little research on something that Christy said and see what you come up with. This is going to be really interactive for you, and you're really going to get a kick out of it. So we will see you next Sunday on YouTube, The Walk with Christy Parrish. And again, we're really, really happy with what we put out. So we will see you there. Can't wait. So also just want to go on with a little bit of housekeeping. As always, I want to say thank you to Ladybug Pest Control, my day job, always very supportive of my hobby. And also, if you're local to Quincy, and you're having a pest issue, I will be in the office tomorrow, Monday at 7:30. Give me a call. I'm sure we can help you out. So thank you, Ladybug Pest Control, and thank you, Linda, for always being supportive of my crazy hobbies. Want to remind folks that this is an 18 and over space. And get comfortable. Who cares what's in your coffee cup? No judgment, as long as you're not driving anywhere. I've got just a little coffee with my cream and sugar this morning. But I want to remind folks this is a 420 friendly space, so smoke them if you got them. I know I sure did, because the only place I'm going after this is in my yard to sit, because it's beautiful. So no judgments if you don't have to drive anywhere. But also 18 plus, because sometimes I'm a little disturbed that we're not more disturbed by the disturbing things we talk about. So keep that in mind. And I am 62 years old. I do like to swear. So you got to keep that in mind. The F-bomb, I say shit a lot, all that kind of stuff. However, disclaimer, anybody who watches my show knows what I'm going to say next. If my Aunt Kathy should tune in, although she's probably at church, if my Aunt Kathy should tune in, everybody's going to watch their language. So including me. So thank you very much for that. And thank you for watching on Facebook. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching live now. And thank you if you're watching later. Sometimes I can't get to every podcast and live stream that I want, so I'll put it on in the background while I'm cleaning or while I'm doing some housework or whatever kind of thing, or putting my makeup on. So if you're watching at a later time, I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. I got some fun stuff to share with you. Some of it's kind of repeat stuff, but I'm hoping that we can have some conversations. Let's see, who else do we got? Let's see, we've got Nathan. Nathan's looking forward to watching the first episode of The Walk. Nathan is a good friend of mine, and Nathan works behind the scenes on The Walk. And except for the first episode, we had a limited crew, and the crew expanded after that. Nathan, you will not be disappointed. We're really excited to show this to you. Let's see. There you go, Dan. I had a teacher teach me that, Al Jones at Bristol Eastern High School, and he was one of my favorite teachers ever. I had him for English in my freshman year. I had him for debate. I had him for a class called speech, and what we did was exactly that. We counted our ums and our so's and our ands. So I took that class very seriously 40 years ago, so much so that I would consider Al Jones a big inspiration. Mark Ramponi knows, Kathy Marandino knows, Mr. Jones. I just would consider him a great inspiration for me doing any kind of public speaking. And if you know me, you know that I've never had any fear of public speaking. You give me a subject and you give me a week to research it, and I will give you, I'll say it. But not only that, I really like the live stream stuff too. But again, thanks to Mr. Jones. While I'm saying that, I have to shout out to Mr. Ferris as well. Jones here and I took a class called Television Production and Technique in 1982 with Mr. Ferris, and I like to tell anybody who would listen, that class changed my life. We really did. And you know what, Mark Ramponi, I know you're one of the most sarcastic people that I know, and I love your humor, and I know you're not sarcastic here. I know that you feel the same way I did about Mr. Jones. He was a real role model. He was a genuine human being, and you knew if he was having a rough day, and you knew if he was having a great day, and he shared his passion with you. And he was a wonderful teacher because he loved what he did. So same thing with Mr. Ferris, the same thing with Mr. Zisk in psychology. Why was Mr. Zisk such a great teacher? Because he loved what he did. He would come in so excited every day. So anyways, I loved typing, Nathan. I can still type 60 words a minute. Thank you, Mrs. Roy and Mrs. Dixon. Again, Bristol Eastern High School. I love to type. And yeah, Mr. Jones, that's exactly what I was saying, Mark, that Mr. Jones was really human. He was a great teacher, but you knew he was human. And besides the fact that we went to school with one of his sons, and I know he had an older son too that wasn't in our grade, that brings a humanity to a school teacher as well. Um, but Mr. Jones was real. And here I am, 40. Oh, Mrs. Martin typing. Oh, Mrs. Martin. Oh my God. ASDF, JKL semi. ASDF, JKL semi. I remember, Kathy. I remember. And now, Kathy, jog my memory. What are we at? 44 years now? I was just our 40. It seemed like it was just our 40th last year. But now we're looking at like 44 now. Anyways, yeah. So we're giving away our age. I feel a lot younger. I feel like our generation has aged well. Kathy, you look great. Mark, you look great. I think we all look wonderful for old people. But anyways, I digress. So just had to give all those shout outs. So yeah, Kathy, thanks for that reality check. It is 44 years since we graduated high school. Yeah. All right. Looks like we'll be getting ready for our 45th reunion. This is kind of a cool segue because um, so since we can't have Matt Warner and Richie be here today, and I truly regret that because that was going to be a great spooky trivia matchup, I am going to talk about some of my own experiences. And Kathy, oh my God, time does fly. Where does it go? Really, where does it go? But so I guess 3 or 4 short years ago, it was our 40th wedding anniversary, and I had listen to me, our 40th high school reunion. Sorry, again, I'm thinking of my husband. Sorry, but our 40th high school reunion, and I actually had an experience that night that was really freaking bizarre. So it was such a fun night, and yay me, I did a video for the class, and the whole night was just a lot of fun, and it was so much fun seeing folks and dancing to old music, and at one point there was a 50-50 raffle. I'm sure everybody knows what that is, but if you don't, everybody puts in money, you buy a ticket, and the winner of the ticket, house keeps half the money and you keep half the money. So the house might be your charity, your fund. Maybe our fund was like, for the high school reunion fund. So, but it was a 50-50 raffle. And everybody was buying tickets, and everybody was buying lots of tickets. And I bought $20 worth of tickets myself. And Kathy put the ticket in my hand, and I know I was standing at a round table, and I know that Lori Werner was at the table, and Midge Inga D'Angelo was at the table, and I don't know who else. Was Maureen Duffy there? I don't know. Did Maureen Duffy go to that? Cheryl, not Cheryl Wynn. Donna Wynn was at the table, and Terry Cutler, Terry Glidden was at the table. Anyways, and thank you for those kind words, Kathy. I really appreciate that. So I bought a raffle ticket for the 50-50, and Kathy Marandino, you put that ticket in my hand, and I looked at you and I said, I'm going to win this raffle. And everybody at the table said, oh, no, Jennifer, I'm going to win it. And Lori Werner said, nope, I got the winning ticket right here. And I'm sure that Inga said the same thing. And everybody else said the same thing. Oh, yeah, no, we're going to win it. But I'm not kidding when I tell you that I knew that I was going to win that raffle, and it wasn't a feeling, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket because Powerball. Hey, I bought a Powerball ticket last week and didn't win, but hey, everybody buys a Powerball ticket. Kathy, you put that ticket in my hand, and I knew I was going to win that raffle. And when I won that raffle, I was probably the only one that wasn't surprised. And I don't walk around knowing lottery numbers and I'm going to win this. And I'm not a lucky person, so to speak. We all know somebody who wins all the time at shit. That's not me. That is not me. So I never expected to win it. But when I bought that raffle ticket, I knew without a doubt, 100%, that I was going to win that raffle, and I did. So anyway, so that's, like I said, kind of a nice segue into what I got going on in this show and good karma. And I'll tell you another story about good karma. Kathy, thanks for saying that. You know that I'm a kind of, I don't know, not definitely not celebrity, but gals, ghosts, and ladies. I'm known kind of around. I have a few followers, and I'm known locally. So I was at the grocery store, and I had a really, really good experience with this young cashier, this kid, Tony, and he was so cute, but he was so nice, and he was such a good cashier. And I said, Tony, I said, thank you for making my day. You're a fine young man. And he was a college student, blah, blah, all this other shit. And he said, well, on your way out, if you could stop and tell them at the courtesy desk, I would appreciate that. And I said, you got it, Tony. So I stopped at the courtesy desk, and when, there was a line, and I almost bypassed it and left. But I decided to stay. I decided to stay at the courtesy desk because I really wanted to say about Tony, the good things about Tony. And so I waited and waited and waited and waited, and then it was my turn. And when I was telling them about Tony and what a good experience I had, I get this tap on my shoulder, and I hear, ghost girl, ghost girl. And I turn around and I look, and it's this lady I had never seen before. And she said, I recognize your voice from the internet. And I thought that was just so cool. She was a gal's follower, and she does watch our live stream and has seen them. So that was, I just thought, really good karma. There I was, waiting in line, even with my frozen food, to make sure that I could give this kid a good plug at Stop and Shop. And when I did, somebody recognized me from gals, and that meant a lot, because like I said, algorithms and all that kind of good stuff, so that's really important. So, oh, and Kathy says, thank you, Mark. Thank you. That is a really nice thing. Absolutely, Kathy. You are lucky. You're the one that put the ticket in my hand. So I'd say Kathy is good luck. And Dan, absolutely a premonition. But I'm not like a premonition, like I didn't see the earthquake coming, and I can't predict. Like I said, I wish I could predict the lottery numbers, but it was just one of those things. It was like a Johnny Smith from the Dead Zone moment. Oh, hi, Lisa. Good morning. And Adam R. Pierce, welcome. Thank you for showing up for our Sunday morning live stream. And like I said, I do have to apologize again to everybody that Matt Warner and Richie B had to reschedule for spooky trivia because, life happens, and this is a live stream. And if something happens, you got to tend to your family, not to Gal's live stream, because I always have a plan B. So everybody who's watching, thank you, because we're going to talk about some spooky stuff. So like I said, there was kind of a segue there to talk about some of my own experiences. And another experience that I'd like to share with you guys is the Aunt Ruthie experience. And some of you do know this experience. So there you go. God winks. That's it. I love that, Sam. Thank you so much. I'm going to remember that one and use it for sure. But so the Aunt Ruthie moment. Dun dun dun. I got to get some sound. I got to get a sound effect board. So this is Aunt Ruthie, and some of you know this story. But let's see if I can get both pictures up there. Me and Aunt Ruthie. There we go. So I'll just, long story, I'll try to make it a little less long. Aunt Ruthie, I come from a big family, and we love Aunt Ruthie, and Aunt Ruthie loved every one of us. And we were special to Aunt Ruthie for every reason. If you know me and I talk about my family, when you're with Aunt Jean, you're Aunt Jean's favorite. When you're with Aunt Mary, you're Aunt Mary's favorite. When you're with Aunt Ruthie, you just know how special you are when you're with family, is when you're with my family, is what I'm saying. So we loved Aunt Ruthie. Well, Aunt Ruthie passed away, because that is life. Aunt Ruthie passed away. And so I had, me in my Photoshop, and I do that kind of editing and all that kind of stuff. So Aunt Ruthie loved to play cards. So I put Aunt Ruthie's picture in the Queen of Hearts. I superimposed it. You see the picture to the left. That was also, you can't see the whole thing, but that Aunt Ruthie also loved coffee. That's a photograph, and there's a picture of Aunt Ruthie in there that you can't see, blah, blah. So when Aunt Ruthie passed away, my cousin Amanda and I made the photo collage for Aunt Ruthie's wake and funeral. And this picture of Aunt Ruthie that I had put in the Queen of Hearts was kind of dark. You can't tell from this picture because that's the bizarre thing. That's the point I'm getting to. So my cousin Amanda and I were saying, oh man, if only we wish this picture were brighter. The problem is I had printed everything out at home here in Boston, and we were in Amanda's living room in Bristol, Connecticut with pictures I had already printed out, and we couldn't do jack shit about it. So we were lamenting, oh damn, we really like this, and this we actually did a really good. I wish we had some pictures of this. Amanda, if you have any pictures, I would love to see a picture of this because I know we did a good job. Hi, Jack. My dog is over here groaning. Anyways, so we were lamenting about the picture, and one of us just kind of tossed it. This is on the carpet, this is on the floor, just kind of tossed it. And it landed on the corner of the poster board. That's a black poster board. And at that exact moment, a ray of light came in and did what? It brightened up the picture of Aunt Ruthie. Mic drop. I don't know what else to say. Well, I guess I do know what else to say. My cousin Amanda and I knew exactly what was going on. And again, you've heard me tell this story before, but we were goosebumps from head to toe. We were hugging each other. We were laughing. We were crying. We knew Aunt Ruthie was there. And after a second, it moved. That ray of light moved, and it wasn't brightening up that picture anymore. So it was just a second or two, and we knew what we had. So that was very cool. It's like, if you know, you know, and we knew. And the other thing was, it was so cool to share that with somebody. It was so cool to share that with somebody. And we called out for her then fiance. His name is Nate. And we were like, Nate, come here, Aunt Ruthie's here, Aunt Ruthie's here. It was just so exciting and so magical. And again, I'm so glad I shared that with somebody, that experience, and that we captured a photograph of it. Oh, good morning, Paul. Better late than never. So glad. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Cheryl. Happy Sunday to you both on this beautiful Sunday morning. So, for anybody who didn't know, I'm going to throw this out there again that we did have to delay Richie B and Matt Warner. I'm going to work on rescheduling that. Stay tuned. I'll announce a date soon. So instead today, I'm just like, chit-chatting about my own stuff. So there's one picture. And then now the next picture, stay tuned, everybody, because this is another one of my absolute favorite pieces of paranormal um, um, evidence that I took. And Sue and Nathan, you're going to know this one. And I just have to say, ghost cats and cryptids, good morning. And again, anybody tuning in, I do apologize that we don't have Matt and Richie B this morning. Due to personal reasons, they couldn't make it, and we have to reschedule, which we absolutely will. And I'll keep you all posted. So, all right. So I'm going to show a photograph here. And maybe I'll take my Well, hi everybody. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened. Well, I will tell you this. Since we were supposed to be live with Matt and Richie B, and that didn't happen, and then this show breaks down, I would have to say that maybe today's show just wasn't meant to be. So on that note, I'm sorry that you didn't get to see. Let me see if I can share this last one with you. There we go. So can you see the arrow that is pointing at the guy that's leaning forward? There is no guy there.